You caught me. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. It's Dr. Jan Fortman with Relationship Matters TV. I hope everyone is having a beautifully blessed morning, afternoon, or evening. Now, if you watch me most of the time, hope all of the time, you can probably tell my voice is a little different. Well, I don't know what I got. But anyway, I decided that I was going to work out in the yard. And after I got back in the yard that night, I started sneezing and carrying on. So now I think I have hay fever or something. And I've never, ever had it before. But you talk about being miserable. Today I can talk. Normally it's like OMG. So bear with me just in case I start sniffing or coughing or something like that. And this weather isn't helping any. One day it's hot, the next day it's cold. I had my summer clothes all out. Now I got on this long sleeve turtleneck sweater because it's cold. At least to me it is. But anyway, I'm happy to be here and I'm happy to see all of you. And let's see, already I got a couple of my. Oh, okay, here is Margaret Land. She says, hello from Glasgow. I hope the weather is better there, Margaret. And thank you so much for viewing me. And okay, so why don't we bring in my guest? She is an awesome, awesome, awesome woman. And look, if you have friends, neighbors, women especially, Black women especially, call them up, text them, tell them they need to be here today because I got a lot of questions and she's got a lot of answers. And some of the things that she talks about, I'm like, you know what? That is me. So let me tell you a little bit about her before I bring her on. Her name is Cassandra. I like to say, I don't know if it's Cassandra, but I like Cassandra Hill. She is a master life coach, a best-selling author, and a speaker. Her passion is empowering Black women to live life on their terms by leveling their emotional, spiritual, and mental well-being. And she is the catalyst to spark Black women entrepreneurs to create game-winning strategies and achieve them. and while living a peaceful life. And I want that. This is something that she said, and you probably will be not you probably you will be able to connect with this. When the physical and emotional toll of being superwoman becomes evident in your body, mind, and soul, you need to know how to deal with it in a way that allows you to continue to accomplish your goals while granting you space to breathe, survive, and ultimately thrive. So I'm going to bring to you right now Cassandra Hill.
Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
how are you?
I am doing great. It's been a terrific Thursday. How about you?
Uh, Well, I don't know what's wrong. I just got just a I don't know what it is. I got something, and I'm gonna find
Yeah.
out tomorrow whatever the heck it is, because I don't like it, because I want to thrive and survive, and I want to be the best of me that I can be, and you are the right person that we all need to talk to. So I said a little bit about you, but tell us a little bit more about you. You know what I want to know? Uh, why did you become a master life coach?
Yeah. I became a master life coach because for so many years, I felt as a Black woman, my voice wasn't heard, whether that was in corporate, because at one time I worked in corporate America before I took on the journey of entrepreneurship. And even in just day to day life, whether healthcare, but just where I found myself to be, I found myself in places where my voice wasn't heard. And as a result of that, I wasn't getting the treatment and respect I deserve.
So you were in corporate America. So what did you do?
I am a gerontologist, actually. So that's basically a person that specializes in the study of aging. And
I
so
should
I
I
work
say old
with
people.
older adults, helping them have the best quality of life for as long as possible.
So you felt that you really weren't valued in your role?
Well, this is the thing. Was my work value? Yes. But when you look at the amount of work that I was doing, me neglecting me, my health, my well being, while I'm helping someone else, corporation, make millions of dollars, but my salary doesn't reflect that. And you look at other co-workers, and you see other people with less experience, less education. So when you look at it like that, like, yeah, I didn't feel valued, because if you truly valued me the same way you valued this next person over here, I should be making at least what they're making. Here's Bob. Bob, like I said, has less education than I do, less experience than I do, but you want to give Bob a higher salary than what I'm making just because I'm making quote unquote good money. So what?
Understand? I've been there. Excuse me. I have been there. So, in your life coaching, your master life coaching, and what we talked about, what I said, at the beginning, why did you decide to focus on Black women entrepreneurs?
That was one of God thing. For those who may be new to me, this may be the first time you heard of Cassandra Hill. But when I decided to step into entrepreneurship, it was a result of my body completely shutting down
Mhm.
from the stress, the overwhelm that I experienced while working in corporate America all those years. And I wish my story was atypical, but it's not. So many of us work in corporate and we work ourselves to exhaustion. And God allowed me to heal from that, blessed me to develop a regimen that put me in remission. I've been fortunate to be in remission the last 8 years. And so I knew my healing wasn't just for me. And I was like, okay, God, please show me what's next. And what's next ended up me starting my business. And I feel reaching Black women entrepreneurs because we have so many of us who are starting businesses at record numbers now. A lot of us are fed up with corporate that I can relate to what they're going through and then work with them to understand that you can have well being and still be successful, So I believe that's why God called me to this work.
Okay, so what you're talking about, I still want to know, women in general, and I hear a lot of women, excuse me, of all cultures,
Hmm.
and um, and they say the same thing. Why
Hmm.
is it different for Black women?
Well, I think the difference for us is because we're a double minority. And when you look at the pay inequities, not that other segments of the population don't experience pay inequities, but us more so. Even right now, when we just look on us as a woman, um, I'm doing a self love challenge right now on a Facebook. I've been doing a 5 day self love challenge. When we look at domestic abuse, 45%, this is according to the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 45% of Black women experience domestic violence. That's higher than any other segment of our US population. So, not saying that other women don't have challenges and struggles. Unfortunately, we get a very higher percentage, whether you're talking about, like I just stated, with domestic abuse, whether you're talking about pay inequity, we're over the top.
Wow. Yeah, I can see that. And Margaret Lance is saying the reason she got into speaking and coaching, and she's thanking you for using
Oh,
your pain voice to help others.
thanks
And
so much, Margaret.
yeah, and you are, you're right about that. Okay, so with all of this,
Mhm.
uh, with women and Black women, you said something about being a superwoman. Why do you think that we feel that we have to be a superwoman?
It's part of our culture. It's just part of our culture. We've been taught that we're the go-to, we're the conduit. Um, like bringing up corporate America, we've been taught we have to work 10 times as hard to get what's handed to the next person. So if I believe that, if that's been ingrained in my mind, I will act accordingly. And stop the press. Let me tell you, sis, that's the biggest myth. That's the biggest myth we ever been told. Because let me tell you something. What's for you is for you. Yes, well, you need to work, yes. But does God want you to devalue his temple? No. And we're made in his image. And so, what he has for you, I don't care what man has to say about it, you will get in his time. It may not be your time, and a lot of times his time and our time is,
Yeah.
different, but you don't have to work yourself to exhaustion. So we have that mentality. And then, even when we think about home life, you know, whether you're raising kids, you might be a caregiver. Society is starting to change some as far as like caregiving roles, but for the most part, a lot of us do the heavy work of that, whether it's caring for kids, um, parents, grandparents, just older loved ones in your family. A lot of times it's just a given, it's expected for us to take that on. And we gladly take it on thinking, oh yeah, I can handle this.
And we can't.
Yeah, and nobody's taking care of you. That's the problem. No one's taking care of you. So learning how to delegate, knowing how to set those boundaries, because we teach people how to interact with us, how to dialogue with us. And once we set those boundaries on what you expect, and if a person continually steps outside those boundaries, you know how they feel about you, and then you have to make those decisions. But oftentimes it's hard for us to set those boundaries.
You mentioned caregiving, and I know that's something that usually falls on the woman.
Hmm.
And it can be caregiving for an older parent. It can be caregiving for a child or husband or whatever. But I think also, when you're saying this, what's happened is not only is it expected of you, but people will make you feel guilty
Hmm.
if you don't, I guess, like, use that term superwoman, and put yourself on the back burner to
Yeah.
take care of this
Yeah.
person, and or whoever. And I have a friend that's in that now, because she's expected to take care of a grandkid, and and so you see that a lot. But how do you keep from that guilt feeling when you feel like you must do this, but
Hmm.
then you are stressed, and like the rubber band getting ready to break,
Yeah.
but you keep on because it's expected of you. How do you not feel, even if the people don't make you feel guilty, how do you not feel guilty when you put
Yeah.
yourself first, so to speak?
Yeah. Yeah. My motto is, even if you do feel guilty, keep doing it. Because naturally, for most people, yeah, you will feel a little guilt, like, oh, wow, I really hate I wasn't able. I'll give you a perfect example. This happened to me recently. One of my volunteer efforts, most people know that I do a lot of work around domestic violence. And so I volunteer with my local domestic abuse shelter. And so I was at this event representing the organization, and I met another leader, nonprofit leader with great organization. They're doing a really wonderful work. And they asked me, hey, can you work with us? Can you help us? And I said no. And although the cause is really important, great cause is actually literacy. And anyone who knows me knows I love reading. And, but I'm at my bandwidth. Yeah, I just was at my bandwidth. And initially, when I said no, I was like, oh, wow, Cassandra, people need to learn how to read. Like, if you don't know how to read, you need to. And then I realized, like, hey, you want to operate in excellence. And so, whatever works for you, for me, is whatever I'm committed to doing, I want to give it 100. If I'm not able to give it 100, I shouldn't engage in it. So even when you do have those moments where you may feel guilty, still stay firm to the boundary and then think it out. Think it out like, why why was saying no important? And the more you do that, the better you get at it. And it's a work in progress because here I am. Yes, I'm a master life coach, but it's always doing the work and understanding those boundaries.
Okay, all righty. So how, excuse me, how do you know when, I like what you said about the toll that it takes on you trying to be a superwoman. And you say it becomes evident in your body, mind, and soul.
Mhm.
I, you know, physically, I can understand, and mind, I would think you would talk, you're talking about how you stress. How do you know that it's affecting your soul?
Okay. I would say you would know it's affecting your soul if, as a woman of, I'm a woman of faith, I believe in God. And what I believe to be true is that God has given each of us a vision. There's a reason we're here. And once we determine that vision for our life, the vision He's given us, you're out of alignment when you're not able to do anything towards that vision. Or even if you're doing some things, but you're not operating in the way that He would have you to work within your vision, it's a good chance it's affecting your soul. When you find yourself not even able to hear God, because he speaks. Here's the thing: God talks to us. He's given us instructions. Are you so busy that you can't even hear Him? That's a soul problem.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm really, really, really taking that in because, like you said, yeah, you can be so busy that you don't hear and or you hear but you ignore.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You ignore, and I think that's why when it's trying to be a superwoman, and everybody around you is flourishing, and you're not, and it's like, wait, okay, what is God trying to tell me here? Right, right.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
I was just going to say he might be trying to tell you something, or it may be just not your time yet.
True.
Because sometimes we hold on. There might be something that's good in your life and you want to hold on to it. You're just like lock hand and nail to it. And God has something great. He has something extraordinary, but you're holding on to something good and there's not enough space for both. But you're
And
afraid to let go.
you're blocking.
Yeah.
I just told someone that today. I said, you stayed too long. And I told someone else, what you're doing is blocking because it's not working. So what you're doing is blocking what's your blessing, what's really there for you.
Yeah.
because he didn't say it's supposed to be that hard. Because he's there and there's abundance, and he didn't say no, 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 no. You know, red flags, all of that. So look, a question came in, a text came in. What is the main thing that you hear from women that you deal with?
Most of the women that I deal with, the main thing I hear is they're in a relationship, normally relationship, romantic relationship, to where they don't feel valued. That may look different in different relationships. It may show up to where your partner may be devaluing you, saying things that create feelings of insecurity within yourself. It may be physical mistreatment, but that's the biggest thing I hear where many women, and I know a lot of times we think domestic violence is something that affects a certain type of woman, but I'm here to tell you there's women who six-figure earners, who may be CEOs, may be in corporate, who experience mistreatment. So it doesn't have a predetermined like, oh, it only affects this type of woman. It affects many of us. Like I said, reported 45% of us have experienced some type of domestic violence, and if that's what's reported, it's only natural to assume that number is actually much higher because so many women don't report.
Yeah. Oh, well, Maxine Walker said, women's shelters I visit often. It's amazing how they only have 3 months to get their lives together. Oftentimes that doesn't happen and they go back to the violence. However, some are strong enough to move forward.
Yeah.
So do you find that with the ladies that you work with, and is it that the woman who's in this situation, is she trying to be a superwoman and stay? Is that, you know,
Sometimes you have women who stay because of their kids.
yeah.
They don't want to see their kids be in a broken situation. So sometimes it's that. As I mentioned, a sizable portion of the ladies I work with come from a corporate background or in business for themselves. So um, finances may not necessarily be an issue, but it may be this fear of the unknown, and also the stigma. Because if I'll be real transparent. I'm divorced. I was in a very, very unhealthy, toxic relationship, but you never would have thought it. You just see Cassandra winning these awards. She's Woman of the Year and all these things. And for certain women who get to a certain place, it may be difficult to come out and share your story. As we can see recently, sometimes you may come out and you may not be believed. That just doesn't happen with celebrities. That happens with just everyday people as well, you know.
Wow. Okay, so another text came in. It says, do you have programs to help educate men regarding abuse and how to correct this issue?
You know what? I don't. I normally don't work with men often. Every now and then, I've been in business 6 years. I think in those 6 years, I may have worked with two or three guys. So no, not at this time.
Okay. All right. So I got to take a quick commercial, but when we come back, I know that you have strategies to help women, and I just want to, and I know you have strategies to help them, with their emotions, with their spiritual life, their mental well being. And so when we come back, I want you to kind of tell us just some of the strategies that how you work with women, and some of the things that we can do
Yeah.
as women to to help us to stop. I keep thinking about this song, you know, I'm not your superwoman. When I saw that, I kept thinking about this. And so what strategies can we use to say that, be able to say that and mean it?
It is.
Okay, so don't go away, everyone, because we really need to hear those strategies, because I think a lot of us, in some way or another, try to be that superwoman.
Yeah.
So don't go anywhere, because this is, I like this topic, because I think a lot of us, that's what we do. We try to be superwoman. So don't go away. We'll be right back.
5 years ago, the Power of We Symposium was created to provide a platform for kids from all sectors where they could have a safe and comfortable environment in which to share both their joys and concerns. The Power of We Symposium is proud to have served over 250 kids throughout Romania when we took our mission global back in May of 2023. Now, 2 teams of amazing volunteers from both the U.S. and Romania embarked on an 8-day Legacy of Hope tour, bringing encouragement and hope to not only the kids of Romania, but also the adults who support them, and also to over 100 kids here in the U.S. who contributed handwritten letters of hope to our Romania mission of 2023. Now, this year, we are proud to provide this opportunity yet again in October, and we are super excited to up our game. New venue, 750 kids this time, and we want to see you there. We're looking forward to meeting you in person at this year's event, which promises, as always, incredible speakers, amazing content, and of course, some of the greatest kids on the planet. So, mark your calendars for October 24th, and we'll see you here in Chicagoland for the Power of We Symposium 2024. This year's theme is Always Together, Never Alone. Tickets are available now on Eventbrite or at powerofwesymposium.com.
Well, we are back with Cassandra Hill. All right, Cassandra. So, what are some of the strategies that you use to help women emotionally and spiritually, and help them with their mental health? When you work,
Yeah.
do you work one on one? First of all, I want to ask you that, or do you do group coaching?
My coaching is one on one. Yes.
Okay.
And so that way you're able to, I found for me, most of my clients prefer just having that safe place where they're able to share their heart. And then one thing that makes me a little different than most master life coaches, and I'm also a holistic health practitioner, you get strategies tailored to you, specific to you and your needs. So that goes over better in a one-on-one coaching session.
Okay. Well, okay, a couple of texts just came through again. From Dorothy Davis. She said, in most cases, women are the glue. And then she says, in most relationships, we always want it to work.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with, because what you're talking about really is the relationships with ourself and, well, really the relationship with ourselves,
Yeah.
because until we can get straight, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, so to speak, then it's that's when we can, number one, like you say, set boundaries,
Mm-hmm.
because we, number one, we have to set boundaries with ourselves, and
Yes.
then we can set boundaries with other people,
Yeah.
right? And how do you, what is it you tell women, especially, with your strategies, what is it you tell them?
The first thing that's really important is doing what I call a mental health detox. And that's where you spend 7 days with yourself. And the first thing you want to do in a mental health detox, you want to take a break from media, whether it's television, social media. Just give yourself a break from that. And as you give yourself a break from that, you're going to find you'll have a whole lot more time, because you're probably spending more time than you realize on whatever your platform of choice is. So that's the first thing you're going to do. Give yourself a break from TV, social media. The next thing you're going to do is begin each day, give yourself 20 minutes of meditation and prayer. Now, after you do your meditation and prayer, then give yourself quiet time. That's when you're listening. Remember, God's talking, but are you listening? So give yourself that time of quiet. Now, it's because here's a fact. Uh, this brain, this brain we have right here, the cells in the brain, what's called neurons, those cells for the average adult, they grow around every 35 days. So every 35 days, you have an opportunity to change the way you think. Now, those new neurons that's being developed, what are you feeding it? I'm not talking about what you eat, which, yes, that's important, what you eat and what you drink, but what you feed it mentally. So you're paying attention to what you're reading, you're paying attention to any audiobooks, you're feeding yourself positivity in your mind. You're listening to podcasts like Relationship Matters. You're getting good information put into your brain. And I say do it past the 7 day mental health detox. But as you feed your brain positive information, it does play a role in what you believe. And whatever you believe, that's how you act out. Perfect example. If you have kids in the room, you might want to tell them step out for a minute. So think back to being a kid. Some of you may have believed in Santa, right? You believed in him, and because you thought he was real, it made you behave different. It made you maybe set out cookies and a glass of milk. It may have made you behave even better, thinking these toys, even though would cause you to act different. And our brains don't change as we get older. Whatever you believe, that is your reality. The brain cannot distinguish fact from fiction. So what you feed it, it believes it, and it moves on that. So feed it those positive things, books, audio books, or reading a book, podcasts, but feed it that positivity. And then lastly, with the mental health detox, write out your feelings. Pay attention to how you feel, especially when you're around what I call the five. And those are the five people you spend the most time with. Just write down how you feel when you're around this person. After 7 days of doing that, you will walk away with a clarity no other. You'll know who should move forward in your life and who has an expiration date.
I like the way you put that expiration date. Yeah.
Most people in your life have an expiration date. There's very few people who will be in your life for a lifetime. You know, you have family. If you're married, hopefully, you're in a marriage that's forever. But it's very few relationships that's designed to last a lifetime. And a lot of times what happens for us women, the expiration was in 2019, and here we are trying to drag them into this new season. And as long as you think about it. If you go to a vending machine right now, you see a ghost sign out of order. Will you stick your debit card in there? Will you stick your cash in there expecting to get anything? No, because you're so signed out of order. Right. So you're out of order when you attempt to drag these people along when their season has ended. And you really believe that what God has for you, that He will give you when you're not operating how He wants. Because here's the thing. Here, I'm going to be real transparent. There are seasons for most people in your life. When you realize their expiration date and you move accordingly, what you will find on the other side of it, once you get to that other side of it, is wow, look how much my life has changed. And it's, but the thing of it is God is seeing, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want it? How bad do you want your healing? He's not going to force you to heal yourself. He won't. He loves us, but He's not going to force it, because if He forced it, it wouldn't stick anyway.
You are right. You are right. So, Cassandra, you wrote a book, and I just want to show people about it. I want you to tell us a little bit about this book. I love it. So tell us about the book.
Oh, that's my baby. That's my first book. And believe it or not, I wrote that book at the time that I didn't know it was going to be a book, but I was writing it had recently miscarried, lost her baby, and was in the process of getting divorced. It was a lot going on in my life, and I knew I needed God. The only way that I would make it through was God. And so every day I would find myself like, Lord, just show me. And I would get a scripture. And so I would take that scripture, write my thoughts about it. And I did that for, wow, it seemed like forever, but it was some months that I did that. And I thought it was for me. I just thought it was something for me. And as I healed, I kept the writings, and it just moved from computer to computer to computer. And as life would have it, it was probably 7 years later, I believe it was. I was speaking at an event with the great Ayanna Van Zant.
Okay.
And it was so many publishers there. And I had a publisher reach out to me. He was like, "We're looking for authors. Are you interested in becoming an author?" And I was like, "Yeah, I have it on my bucket list actually." And so we started the conversation, and they asked me, "Do you have anything you've ever written? Just period, just like any writing sample." And I remembered what I wrote back then. And I was like, "Sure, I have something." And I sent that. And to my surprise, because I just wasn't expecting that to become my book,
Wow.
But that's what ended up happening. Those writings became my book. He Restored My Soul, Triumph Through Adversity. So 28-day devotional. Each day you get that scripture, a positive message. What makes it a little different than the typical devotional, at the end of it, you have these questions that, if you're honest and you complete these questions, you'll know yourself on a whole nother level. And knowing yourself is the key to healing.
If you can answer the questions honestly,
Yes.
that's the key. That's
Yeah.
the key. And Lori Trinette Adams says, "I want the book." All righty. And I'm going to do the book trailer again, just in case, for people who just, want just to make sure that, as soon as I can find it, just to make sure that they get the title of.
Thanks
All
so
right.
much for wanting the book. Later on, Dr. here and
You know what, Cassandra? I don't know what you said. You broke up.
Yeah, if you guys would like, thanks so much for wanting a copy of the devotional. If you would like to get it through Amazon, you definitely can do that through my link tree. However, if you would like an autographed copy, be sure to reach out to me on Facebook, my public figure page there, agent for Black women, and we can do that and get your autograph copy as well.
Okay, let me find your LinkedIn so they can see. Here we go. Your link, not yeah. Here it is. Your link tree, right? There she is. So, you all, if you go there, you can get that book from her there. And you know what? Yeah, I know you would like to have an autographed copy of her book. You know that is, and it's really something, um, when you have gone through the journey yourself,
Mhm.
rather than how some people just write and it's not authentic because they haven't gone through it. But
Yeah.
the fact that you wrote this, during a really kind of traumatic time in your life, because getting a divorce is traumatic.
Yeah.
And so I really think that's wonderful. So if there are any other questions, you better put them in here now, because I know some of you out there, you wait until it's 1 minute before the show is over and you got a question. So if you have a question or comment, put it in there now so that Cassandra can either answer the question or just address your comment. So this is what I just want to make sure that I have answered all of my questions. And let's see. Oh well, no, I think I did. I know. I wanted. We talked about it, really, about feeling guilty. You know, when you put yourself first, and and I think often we feel like if we're putting ourselves first, then we're not doing justice. Okay, Sandy Barney Ennis says, "Give me liberty or give me black female entrepreneurial life."
Yes. I love that, Sandy. Oh.
Oh my gosh, thank you, Sandy. So we're about to go, and can you give us a nugget? Wait a minute, my phone is buzzing. Okay, no, that wasn't for you. um, can you give us just a nugget, something that you really want to leave the audience with?
Yes. Um, Remember this, you guys. Fear and success cannot coexist. Invite one to stay. And that's a quote from one of my favorite sheroes, the late great Maya Angelou.
I love it. Say that again. Wait a minute. Wait. Girl, I got to put this. Hold on a moment. I got to put this here. I got to put it here. You said fear. Go ahead. Say it again. I love it.
Fear and success
Uh huh.
cannot coexist.
Okay.
Invite one to stay.
Okay. Because this has got to stay there. Hold on. Let me put it. There you go. Fear and success cannot coexist. Invite one to stay. Oh gosh, a question. Quickly. What is the first thing that women of abuse must do? That's a text. I knew the thing was buzzing for something.
Yeah. The first thing you want to do if you've experienced domestic abuse of any type is seek professional help, whether that's reaching out to a therapist, a life coach, if you need shelter, reaching out to a shelter, but getting professional support, because if it does require for you to exit your home, you want to have a safety plan. You
Okay.
cannot um, be successful if you don't have a safety plan. And even if it doesn't require you to leave your residence, you still want to ensure that you have a therapist or a life coach who can support you in becoming a new, healthier version of you.
Okay. And Gwendolyn Dunbar, look at how God works. These type of stories need to be told. This is what to be done with my book. The more times we do this, the better. Because her book is called Cutting the Ties, and it's about women facing physical and emotional abuse and what to do about it. Thank you so much, Cassandra. I really appreciate you. You have given us so much value and really something for all of us who are trying to be superwomen. All of us, you've given all of us a lot to think about. I want to thank you so much for being my guest.
Thanks so much, Dr. JN, for having me as your guest. I love what you're doing with this platform. And wow, you're already successful, but I wish you continued success in every single thing that God has for you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And the same to you. So you have a beautiful, blessed rest of your evening in Florida, you all, where it's warm. All right. So take care. Bye bye.
Bye.
I'm not your superwoman. Ooh, 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 ooh. So, this has been great. This has been great. She really gave us some really valuable tools. So I want to let you know this. Let me find it. Oh, here it is. On June 5th, I am doing a master class with Dr. Mamta Bach, which she's been on this show before. We're going to, it's health and wellness, thriving relationships. We're going to talk about cultivating relationships, understanding the foundation, effective communication strategies, and navigating conflict. And she is going to talk about how to have vibrant health, some of the causes of chronic diseases, the mind body connection, and stress management. I will have this on my Facebook page, and you can click on it's only $97. And honestly, it's worth a whole lot more than that. Normally, for this type, we would charge maybe about I think it's $4.97. But for my guests and for my audience, we're only charging $97 for this. But I will put it on my Facebook page and on my LinkedIn and wherever you can reach me so that you can click on it so you can secure your spot now. And if you would like to be a guest on my show, or you know someone who you feel could be a great guest, you can, where can I find it? You can reach me at, and of course I can't find it. But anyway, at well, no, I don't want to give you that one. Where is it? Oh, here it is. You all have to forgive me because, like I told you, I don't feel good. So, but anyway, you can reach me at relationshipmatterstv@gmail.com. So if it's someone who you feel would be a great guest on my show, just email me at relationshipmatterstv@gmail.com. So I will see all of you again next week for another awesome guest. So everyone have a beautiful, blessed morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are in the world. And pray for me that I get over this bug that I have. I would really, really appreciate that. I need prayer. All righty. See you next week. Bye-bye.